You think you're doing something good for your body, don't you? You buy the chia seeds, sprinkle them over your yogurt, blend them into your smoothie, and you tell yourself, this is healthy, this is progress. But here's the truth, you're avoiding most of the time the way you consume these tiny seeds isn't helping you at all. In fact, it's holding you back. And if you don't stop, it can actually hurt you. You have to understand, just because something is labeled as superfood doesn't mean it's a magic bullet. Superfood doesn't mean super smart if used incorrectly. Your body is not just a container for trendy habits, it's a complex system. And you have to feed it with awareness, not with blind faith. Let me ask you something. How often do you see those posts, those health influencers showing you chia seeds soaked for 10 minutes, stirred into almond milk, eaten like candy? You've done that. I've seen it happen in countless kitchens. And I know what happens next. You feel bloated, you feel heavy. Maybe your stomach gurgles in protest. You think, oh, it's fine, it's supposed to be fiber. But here's the truth. Fiber is a tool, not a toy. Fiber is a weapon when used properly, a disaster when misused. Those chia seeds, when overconsumed or eaten dry, swell in your stomach, absorb water, and can actually create digestive distress. They don't make you healthier, they make you uncomfortable, sluggish, even risk choking if not hydrated enough. You're not weak, you're just misinformed. Now think about intention. Why did you start eating chia seeds in the first place? To lose weight, feel energetic, to be part of a health-conscious crowd? Every habit begins with a desire, and every desire is noble. But noble intentions don't excuse ignorance. You cannot change your health by following the crowd blindly. You must learn. You must understand. A seed, no matter how small, has the power to transform your life or sabotage it depending on how you treat it. Most people never pause to ask, how should I really eat this? How will my body react? What is the right quantity? They don't think because thinking takes effort. It's easier to follow the Instagram post. It's easier to mimic the friend in the gym. But your body doesn't respond to convenience. Your body responds to wisdom. And here's the wisdom. Chia seeds are hydrophilic. They absorb water at a rate that can double or triple their size. That's incredible. That's miraculous. But it's also dangerous if you ignore it. Eating them dry or in excessive quantities or without enough liquid can backfire. Your gut is not just a storage tank. It's a sensitive system, a carefully tuned engine. You disrespect it at your own peril. So what is the alternative? What is the way to turn this small, overlooked seed into a tool for true transformation rather than a trap for your comfort? First, understand moderation. Chia seeds are powerful, but power without control is chaos. 1 to 2 tablespoons a day, soaked in water, juice, or milk is sufficient. Don't overestimate what you need. Don't let marketing dictate your measure. Measure with awareness, measure with respect. Second, hydration is not optional, it's essential. Let those seeds soak. Let them swell safely before entering your stomach. Your body needs preparation, and your mind must enforce discipline. Third, observe your response. Every body is different. Energy levels, digestion, mental clarity, these are your true metrics. Forget the hype, forget the smoothie challenge. Your life is not a competition on social media, it's a laboratory of one, and you are the scientist. There's a deeper lesson here. Beyond digestion, beyond fiber, beyond bloating, this is about self-awareness. This is about resisting the allure of quick fixes and shiny promises. You have been conditioned to think that health is a product, a supplement, a post, a purchase. That is a lie. Health is attention. Health is responsibility. Health is knowing when to stop, knowing when to adjust, and knowing that small actions repeated with wisdom outweigh grand gestures done blindly. You cannot outsource your well-being to a bag of seeds. You cannot delegate it to an influencer. You cannot pray to a trend and expect transformation. You must engage. You must participate. You must learn. And let me be clear, I am not here to shame you. I'm not here to tell you you've been foolish. I am here to illuminate a path you've been missing. You are capable of doing this differently. You are capable of turning every small, overlooked habit into a victory. But first, you must stop the careless repetition. You must recognize that intention without understanding is not power, is danger. You must see that these tiny seeds, as innocent as they appear, require full attention. Imagine for a moment the difference between carelessness and mastery. One person eats chia seeds dry every day, hoping for health, and faces bloating, discomfort, stagnation. Another person soaks the seeds, measures them carefully, drinks them with mindfulness, and feels energy, clarity, and digestive ease. It's not luck, it's not magic, it's respect, it's attention. It's the deliberate application of knowledge. That is the power you have, and it is entirely within your control. Now you might think it's just seeds. How much difference can it make? The difference is everything. Every habit, no matter how small, compounds. Every choice, no matter how trivial, accumulates. One careless teaspoon of chia seeds eaten daily, dry over months, compounds discomfort, digestive strain, and missed energy. One mindful tablespoon, soaked, hydrated, thoughtful, compounds vitality, balance, and well-being. Life is measured in the accumulation of small, consistent actions. One is destructive, the other is transformative. Which one do you choose? You see, the problem is not with the seed. The problem is with the way you engage with it. You are intelligent, you are capable, you are not a victim of your habits, you are their architect. And if you are willing to step back, to observe, to adjust, to learn, to respect your own body, you can transform even the smallest, simplest habit into a powerhouse of health. You can turn what was a minor backfire into a major breakthrough. You can cultivate strength, resilience, and clarity from something as tiny as a seed. So here is the call. Stop eating chia seeds like this. Stop rushing. Stop following trends blindly. Stop thinking that effort equals wisdom. Pause, hydrate, measure, observe, respect, transform. Stop letting good intentions be wasted energy. Stop letting small mistakes become unnecessary obstacles. Take responsibility for your body, for your health, for your life. The seeds themselves are miracles of nature, packed with omega-3s, antioxidants, fiber, and protein. But even miracles can harm if mishandled. You are capable of handling them. You are capable of attention, care, and conscious action. You are capable of turning knowledge into practice and practice into power. You are capable of being the kind of person who doesn't just follow the trend, but understands it, masters it, and uses it to build a life of energy, clarity, and strength. The truth is this: transformation is not found in the novelty, the hype, the Instagram-friendly smoothie. Transformation is found in awareness and discipline and understanding. Stop the careless habit, engage intentionally, learn the small, precise, human details that make health sustainable. Stop being a passive consumer of trends and start being an active participant in your own life. Stop letting seeds backfire. Use them, respect them. Make them a part of the careful, thoughtful life you are capable of creating. You have been led to believe that health is a simple transaction. Buy the superfood, consume it, and everything will magically improve. You think, I am doing something good for my body, but intention alone is not enough. Awareness is the bridge between effort and results, and without it, you are wandering blindly in your own kitchen. Take chia seeds, for instance. They are small, unassuming, and yet they possess the power to either support your health or sabotage it entirely. They are fiber-dense, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, loaded with antioxidants, and packed with protein. On paper, they are a miracle. In practice, they are only as effective as the understanding and care with which you consume them. Eating chia seeds incorrectly is not a minor mistake. It is a missed opportunity, a moment of wasted energy, and a potential source of discomfort. Most people eat them dry, scatter them over cereal, or throw them into smoothies without any thought. They ignore one of the most crucial factors, water. Chia seeds are hydrophilic, which means they absorb water and expand. They are designed by nature to swell and hold moisture, a feature that can support digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and prolong satiety, but only when handled properly. When consumed dry or in excessive amounts without liquid, these same seeds can swell in the esophagus or stomach, causing bloating, cramps, or even risk of choking. This is not fear-mongering. It is a simple physiological fact. Your body is not a container into which you dump habits and hope for the best. It is a responsive, intelligent system that reacts to every decision you make. Ignorance is not bliss when it comes to your health. Understanding begins with measurement. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds soaked in 3 to 4 tablespoons of water left for at least 10 to 15 minutes is sufficient for most adults. That is enough to activate their beneficial properties without overburdening the digestive system. Yet, how many people take the time to measure, to soak, to observe the transformation from tiny seeds to gelatinous spheres? Few, because awareness requires effort. It requires patience. It requires humility. Most people want instant results with minimal thinking. They want the benefit of the seeds without the responsibility of preparation. But health does not operate on shortcuts. Nature provides the tools, but it is your intelligence that converts them into results. When you approach these seeds with awareness, you honor both your body and the potential they hold. You do not simply eat, you participate. You do not simply consume, you engage. Hydration is non-negotiable. Water is not an accessory, it is an essential partner in this process. Chia seeds can absorb up to 12 times their weight in liquid. Imagine what happens when they enter your stomach dry. They will seek water from your system, swelling as they do, which can leave you uncomfortable, heavy or constipated. You may feel bloated and sluggish, and the energy you hope to gain evaporates into discomfort. But when soaked properly, these seeds arrive pre-activated, ready to support digestion, regulate blood sugar, and provide sustained energy. The lesson is clear. The same object can either empower or impede you, depending entirely on the preparation. Awareness transforms a potential hazard into a tool for growth. Carelessness transforms a gift into a burden. The choice is yours, but so often people are unaware that they even have a choice. Observation is the next step in awareness. No two bodies are identical. Your energy, digestion, and tolerance will respond differently from anyone else's. You must watch, listen, and adjust. Some people thrive on a tablespoon a day, while others may require a little less. Some may find chia seeds energizing, others calming. Awareness is not just following instructions, it is personal intelligence. It is curiosity about your own body and its responses. It is the difference between blindly following a trend and consciously engaging with your own health. By observing, you gain feedback. By paying attention, you convert habit into insight. By adjusting, you convert insight into mastery. This is the power of awareness. It transforms passive consumption into active care. But awareness is more than technique, it is mindset. Most people approach health as a problem to fix or a list of tasks to check off. Awareness flips the perspective. Health is not something to be endured, it is something to be understood. It is not a transaction, it is a conversation between you and your body. Chia seeds are just one element of this dialogue. Each bite, each choice, each preparation is an opportunity to learn, to refine, to master the small, practical habits that compound over time into profound well-being. Awareness gives you clarity. Awareness gives you control. Awareness gives you the ability to turn what was once a trivial, often misused seed into a cornerstone of your health routine. Many people are unaware that the very act of eating without awareness can create a subtle but persistent drain on their vitality. They experience mild bloating, sluggishness, or lack of sustained energy and blame their lifestyle, genetics, or stress. They do not connect the dots because they never pause to observe, to understand, to learn. But awareness changes everything. When you pause before consuming, measure with care, soak with intention, and observe with curiosity, you unlock the potential of even the smallest seed. You transform a simple dietary choice into a conscious act of self-care. You move from passive acceptance to active empowerment. You understand that the body is not an obstacle, but a partner, and every interaction, no matter how tiny, can either support or hinder your health. This is why awareness is the first step. It is the foundation upon which all other health habits are built. Without it, even the best intentions can backfire. Without it, you remain at the mercy of habit, convenience, and misinformation. But with awareness, you gain insight. With awareness, you gain mastery. With awareness, you transform the ordinary into extraordinary. The chia seed is a teacher, and the lesson is clear. Know what you consume. Understand how it works, and respect the intricate systems that sustain your life. Awareness is not optional, it is essential. Without it, even the smallest Most seemingly benign habit can become a source of struggle. With it, even the tiniest action can become a catalyst for strength, energy, and lasting vitality. You have to understand that health is not a fashion statement. It is not something to wear like the latest trend, something to showcase on Instagram, something to post as proof of virtue. So many people fall into the trap of following trends without thought, thinking that the act itself is enough. They see influencers sprinkling chia seeds into smoothies, posting pictures with hashtags like hashtag healthy life, hashtag superfood, hashtag wellness, and they imitate without reflection. They do not ask themselves if it suits their body, if it respects their digestive system, if it aligns with their actual needs. They simply follow. But health is not imitation. Health is engagement. Health is not what others do. It is what you understand, what you choose consciously, what you tailor to your own body and mind. Following trends blindly is one of the fastest ways to undermine your own well-being. The seeds themselves are not at fault. The fault lies in the passive participation, in the surrender of intelligence to popularity. You cannot outsource your health to someone else's lifestyle. You cannot delegate responsibility to a social media post or a glossy photo. Health is personal. Health is active. Health requires you to observe, think, and act deliberately. Consider how often people use trends as a shortcut. They think, if it worked for them, it must work for me. This is a dangerous illusion. Your body is not a generic model. It is unique, intricate, responsive, and sensitive. The very same chia seeds that energize one person, balance their blood sugar, and improve digestion can overwhelm another, leaving them bloated, sluggish, or even constipated. Ignoring this uniqueness is a fundamental mistake. Trends are convenient, but convenience is not wisdom. Convenience is a seduction that makes you believe that effort equals effectiveness. It does not. Health is not measured by imitation. It is measured by outcomes, by awareness, by the subtle yet powerful effects of thoughtful choices repeated consistently over time. To follow trends without understanding is to hand over your body to chance, and chance is indifferent. It does not care whether you feel energetic or bloated, vibrant or lethargic. It does not reward good intentions. It rewards knowledge applied with care. Intentionality is the antidote to this problem. To eat with intention is to step out of the crowd and into your own life. It is to recognize that every action, no matter how small, has consequences. It is to weigh your options, understand the science, respect your body, and execute with awareness. When you sprinkle chia seeds into your smoothie, ask yourself, am I hydrated enough? Have I measured correctly? Do I understand how this will interact with my system? Am I observing the effects, adjusting as necessary, learning from the results? If you do this, the seed becomes a tool. If you do not, it becomes a weapon against your own comfort and energy. Intentionality turns health from a passive pursuit into an active practice. It is not about impressing anyone. It is about mastering yourself. The lure of trends is powerful because it offers simplicity, and simplicity is seductive. It is easier to follow a post than to read, research, and experiment. It is easier to mimic than to think. But real transformation does not come from taking the easy path. Transformation comes from engagement. Transformation comes from curiosity. Transformation comes from the courage to step off the bandwagon and chart your own course. Influencers will post what works for them. Marketers will sell what sells, but your results will only come from what works for you, from your observation, your trial, and your careful refinement of every small habit. To surrender to trends is to surrender your agency. To embrace intentionality is to reclaim it. There is also a psychological dimension. Following trends gives a false sense of accomplishment. You feel that because you did what someone else did, you have achieved something meaningful. You post your chia seed smoothie, check the likes, and feel validated. But this validation is shallow. It is external, fleeting, and irrelevant to your actual health. True achievement comes from internal validation, from knowing that you acted with knowledge, wisdom, and respect for your own body. It is quiet. It does not need likes. It does not need applause. It does not demand social approval. It is the satisfaction of mastery over your own choices, the confidence that comes from deliberate, conscious action. The difference between imitation and intentionality is the difference between a temporary illusion and lasting transformation. Intentionality also requires patience. Health is cumulative. It is the result of small, consistent choices over time. Eating chia seeds incorrectly for a week may not seem significant, but repeated over months, it compounds into discomfort, bloating, or stagnation. Following a trend because it is convenient compounds the same way, often in the wrong direction. But intentionality compounds positively. When you measure, soak, observe, and adjust, every small action reinforces your body's ability to function optimally. Every thoughtful choice strengthens your metabolism, digestion, energy, and clarity. Every mindful habit compounds into resilience. The seeds themselves do not create the transformation your awareness, patience, and intentional engagement do. You must also embrace responsibility. Trends encourage passivity, but intentionality demands accountability. You must take ownership of your habits, your choices, and their consequences. You cannot blame influencers, marketers, or social media for your discomfort or lack of energy. You cannot claim that the seed failed you. You failed only if you ignore the responsibility you have over your own body. When you accept accountability, you gain power. When you recognize that your health is determined by your engagement and choices, every action becomes a conscious opportunity. This is not burden, it is liberation. You are not a victim of trends, you are the architect of your well-being. To live intentionally is to transform every seed, every habit, every choice into an instrument of growth. Chia seeds in this sense are not merely food, they are a mirror of your awareness. They reflect how much you know, how much you care, how much you are willing to observe, measure, and adjust. If you approach them carelessly, they reveal your lack of attention. If you approach them intentionally, they become a tool for mastery, a small but potent vehicle for energy, clarity, and vitality. The difference is in your engagement. The difference is in your choice. The difference is in the courage to stop following trends blindly and start leading your own health journey. Intentionality transforms confusion into clarity, ignorance into insight, and passive consumption into active empowerment. Every small habit, every tiny decision, every mindful act compounds over time, producing results that no trend, no hashtag, no external validation can replicate. This is the path. This is the practice. This is the discipline that converts the chaos of fleeting fads into the enduring power of self-directed health. You must understand that health is not built in a single dramatic action. It is built in the accumulation of small choices repeated consistently over time. People underestimate the power of small actions because they are seduced by the idea of instant results. They think that one smoothie, one superfood, one diet hack will change everything. They are wrong. Transformation is not a single event. It is the sum of small, deliberate decisions compounded over weeks, months, and years. One careless habit may seem insignificant, but when repeated day after day, it shapes your energy, your digestion, your mental clarity, your life. Likewise, one mindful habit, small as it may seem, compounds into strength, resilience, and vitality. The seeds you consume, the water you drink, the foods you prepare, they are all opportunities. Every teaspoon, every measure, every mindful bite is a building block. What you choose to do consistently matters far more than what you do once in a while. Most people fail to grasp this because they focus on extremes. They think they need to overhaul their entire lifestyle overnight, or they think one small act is useless. Both are illusions. You do not need perfection to transform your life, but you do need consistency. You do not need to follow every trend, every hack, every influencer recommendation, but you do need to respect the compounding effect of small, correct actions. Chia seeds illustrate this perfectly. Eating them correctly, soaking them, measuring them, consuming them with awareness. These small actions may seem trivial, but repeated daily, they support digestion, stabilize energy, regulate blood sugar, and enhance overall health. Conversely, eating them dry, in excess, or without observing your body's response, also small actions compounds negatively over time. It is the accumulation of these seemingly minor habits that determines the trajectory of your health. Compounding is not obvious in the moment. Most of the time, the effects of small actions are invisible. You will not see dramatic change after 1 week, 1 month, or even 2. That is why most people give up. They think it's not working, and they abandon the habit. They fail to see the hidden power of accumulation. Small, consistent choices, repeated over time, grow like roots underground, unseen but strengthening the entire structure. Your health, energy, and vitality develop in the same way. Every mindful habit, every intentional bite, every measured seed is part of a silent accumulation that over time becomes visible in the form of sustained energy, mental clarity, and digestive ease. The principle is simple. Small actions matter because they compound. The results are not immediate, but they are inevitable if you remain consistent. This is why carelessness is so costly. Many people think that skipping small details does not matter. They eat chia seeds without soaking, they overeat them, they ignore hydration, they follow trends blindly. Each of these small oversights may feel insignificant in the moment, but repeated over weeks and months, they create cumulative strain. Bloating, sluggishness, digestive imbalance, low energy, these are the compound consequences of small errors repeated over time. Life is full of such subtle accumulations, both positive and negative. The key difference is awareness. To recognize that each small action matters and to engage consciously with every choice is to harness the power of compounding for your benefit rather than your detriment. The same principle applies far beyond chia seeds. Every small action you take in your daily life, your hydration, your sleep, your movement, your attention to nutrition is part of a compounding system. Neglect it, and the effects accumulate against you. Engage with it intentionally, and the effects accumulate in your favor. Your life, your energy, your clarity, your strength, they are built one mindful choice at a time. The moment you understand this, you stop waiting for dramatic interventions and start mastering the small details. The seeds themselves are simple, but your approach is what magnifies or diminishes their effect. A single tablespoon of chia seeds prepared thoughtfully every day may seem insignificant, yet repeated faithfully, it compounds into measurable improvement in your health over months. It is not magic, it is the arithmetic of habit. Compounding also requires patience and trust. You cannot see the results instantly, but you must trust the process. Many people abandon healthy habits because they demand immediate gratification. Transformation is not immediate. Energy, clarity, digestion, and vitality all develop gradually, like muscles growing stronger under consistent resistance. Each mindful action adds another layer of strength. Each small correction, each adjustment, each moment of awareness strengthens the system. Your body responds predictably to consistent, correct inputs over time. Ignoring compounding is like trying to build a house by throwing bricks in random places. You might have materials, but without consistency, structure fails. Respect the principle of accumulation, and you will build something permanent and powerful. The final truth is that compounding empowers you. It turns small, simple actions into monumental change. It allows you to move from chaos to order, from inconsistency to mastery, from passive consumption to active engagement. Every choice you make, no matter how minor it appears, contributes to the trajectory of your life. When you eat chia seeds with awareness, when you measure, soak, hydrate, and observe, you are exercising the principle of compounding. When you repeat this habit daily, week after week, you build a foundation of health that will support every aspect of your life. This principle applies to every habit, every choice, every action you take. Nothing is trivial, nothing is wasted. Small, consistent, thoughtful actions accumulate into strength, vitality, and transformation. You are capable of harnessing this principle. You are capable of taking responsibility for the small actions that shape your life. You are capable of turning trivial habits into powerful tools and minor mistakes into lessons that guide you toward mastery. Compounding is not a secret, it is a universal law. Those who understand it thrive. Those who ignore it suffer. The difference between failure and success in health and energy, in vitality, and in life itself often comes down to one thing: whether you respect the power of small actions repeated consistently over time. Every seed you eat, every mindful choice you make, every observation and adjustment compounds. Small actions matter. And compounding is the engine that turns effort into transformation. Everything we have discussed comes down to one undeniable truth. Your health, your energy, your clarity, and your vitality are the sum of the choices you make every single day. It is not the seed itself, not the smoothie, not the latest trend that defines your well-being. It is your awareness, your intentionality, and your commitment to small, consistent actions. The power to transform your body and your life is entirely within your hands, but only if you refuse to follow blindly, only if you refuse to outsource responsibility, only if you refuse to let convenience or social pressure dictate your habits. Each seed, each measure, each thoughtful bite is an opportunity to honor your body, to strengthen your discipline, and to reclaim control over your own health. Remember that small actions repeated over time are far more potent than sporadic grand gestures. Awareness turns potential into results. Intentionality turns effort into mastery. And the principle of compounding turns daily choices into extraordinary transformation. When you eat with mindfulness, when you respect the science behind the food, when you observe your body and adjust accordingly, you are not just consuming nutrients, you are building resilience, energy, and vitality that last. The moment you embrace responsibility for your habits, the moment you act with knowledge and care, you step into your power and refuse to be at the mercy of trends, convenience, or misinformation. You transform even the tiniest, most overlooked habit into a force for your health and your life. The choice is simple but profound. You can continue to eat blindly, follow the crowd, and let good intention backfire, or you can pause, measure, observe, and act with awareness. You can turn small, seemingly insignificant decisions into a compounding force that shapes your body, sharpens your mind, and elevates your life. Every action matters. Every seed matters. Every choice compounds. Health is not accidental. It is deliberate. It is intentional. It is yours to claim every single day. Step into that responsibility and watch how even the smallest, most consistent habits transform your life into a reflection of your awareness, discipline, and care. Make every choice count, because your life is the sum of the small actions you repeat, and the seeds you nurture today are the strength, clarity, and vitality you will enjoy tomorrow. Take control, act wisely, and never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions to create extraordinary change.